1 year ago, we had the exact same scare. Now it's real. This is the end of Pocket Mortys. The servers close April 13th, 2026. Here's everything you should know, plus some extra content. The devs have made everything free. This means trade, pit entry, Jerry, trades, capsules, items, everything. The devs have also made every single Morty spawn so you can get shiny ads. There's also this final Morty. Final as in, I don't know if it'll actually be the last, but currently it looks like it will be. His moves are fine, but his stats, just crazy. Now, about the additional content. After the drama video, there's a child that showed up. His name was Zayo. A lot of it is very mediocre. Blah blah blah. He wanted to partner with me, but his server was just poorly managed and real not fun to be. In one of my last podcasts, I actually brought it up. Some person who wanted me to kill myself. That was in Zayo's server. Zayo would basically give anyone admin or mod. The mods he gave or made would constantly unban people and undo things that I would do to try and help. The next thing that happened is something I shouldn't have done. It was just thinking back, stupid. But hindsight's always 2020. But back then, I really wanted to help the Spanish community, and I saw Zayo as the main thing that was fucking it up. So my plan was, what if we just switched Spanish servers? And obviously I don't know Spanish. I don't know anyone that's competent enough that also knows Spanish. So my plan was to basically help from the background while keeping Zayo as the owner. And in order to do that, I would have to delete a server basically, because he was too stubborn to ever let anyone else take control. So I took advantage of Zayo's insecure server and deleted it. Afterwards, I felt bad and tried to pay Zayo with stuff to help his new server thrive, but that didn't last long. Zayo has an ego and is very annoying, and the people I helped who wanted to help the server that I made mod would joke around with Zayo and he wouldn't get it. Zayo threw a big tantrum after being told he was scamming because he wasn't paying out giveaways. Sort of escalated when Zayo abandoned the server, made his new one, became an official Larchie hater. Zayo just believed whatever people told him. Some guy was like, this random person taught Larchie all his bugs, and Zayo just believed it because I'm actually stupid and I can't possibly learn these things on my own. Apparently, Shun is a crime alt. It's just a lot of crazy stuff that I'm not even going to bother showing because it's just conspiracy theory stuff in general. And it's a kid, so he's 14. Who cares? The problem that really gets me is, why does everyone follow him? Which is the main reason why I kind of kept involved instead of just cutting it out like I should have done. Due to his server's general lack of critical thinking and overall stupidity, the group was given the name Speds. Nothing truly noteworthy happened. Zayo's Speds would attack me, try to make people leave PMO. Same stuff that's happened in the past. The biggest departure is when someone doxed one of my mods. It was someone I was friendly with, but immediately after this, I banned them from everything and basically gave them a chance to apologize, which they did later on. But moving on, Zayo's server, where the docs had happened, his mods did nothing. They weren't banned. The mods lied about not knowing how to ban. I joined an alt, pointed out they could ban, and then they did, banned me. And after this, Zayo unbanned the person and basically began this huge hate campaign, and a lot of his members saved the docs. It's just a selfie, I guess, so you could say it's not a dox, but it's easier to say dox than selfie. But a lot of his members saved the docs and would post it around to try and like hurt them and indirectly hurt me because it's the only way they get back at me. And around this time, I just decided to steal Morty's because I realized, why be nice? Like, what's the point? I'm the villain if I do, I'm a villain if I don't. So I just decided I'll give in, and I stole basically everyone's Morty's who was associated with Zayo. And of course, this escalated things more, and Zayo made this little evidence channel with English and Spanish, but let's go over it. Channels inform about Larchie, a scammer who was permanently banned. Server Pocket Mortys for his disturbing and unacceptable behavior. This kind of conduct is not tolerated in the community. Apparently it is. This is evidence where Larchie scams and threatens people. I remember the screenshots, but it's just players of empty teams they use as evidence that I robbed them, which it's a side product, but it's pretty easy to fake that. And then there's, I believe, Yonder, who is some really special kid. Nothing I would really note of. It's just, he told me to empty my steals, and I was like, what the fuck do you mean? Apparently that's evidence. And then Kaiser was like, is your name this? And it's really just, this is just, I don't even know what to say. If you have critical thinking skills, this will just be laugh out loud hilarious. Also, Larchie is a sick metal who sends CP for which Larchie and his servers are forbidden. And the evidence is fat porn in a not safe for work channel. Look, you got me. Yeah, I sent fat porn in a not safe for work channel in my everything cord server because people would fucking be horny there, and I didn't like it. Yeah, this was back in like 2020, and I was still 2022 something. You can disagree or whatever, but I don't see how it's really relevant. It's just a naughty channel which I put in archives. How to stop Larchie from scamming you? Do not join PMO, as it is a server of the thief and mentally ill Larchie, and he is on the blacklist. And I recommend that you do not join and do not have contact with him. If he threatens or scams you, send me a DM with evidence, and he will send your report to Adult Swim Games. No? Joining PMO is actually the best way not to get robbed, because they always mix up scamming and robbing like it's indifferent, but scamming requires lying and tricking people. Stealing requires knowing your Morty ID. So, how do you avoid actually being robbed? Joining PMO helps me know who you are, which might be good or bad depending on what kind of person you are, but if you join PMO, or don't, it doesn't really matter, but here's how since the game's closing, I'll just tell you how I steal. The first steal bug was done because I could set up a trade but use anyone's Morty. So I make a trade, but instead of it being my Morty, it's yours. And then I could trade it to myself, and boom, I have your Morty. Of course, they patched that. The new steal bug, I make the trade on your account because they check to see if the account actually owns the Morty. So what you do is you make an account for the person, and that's basically it. The only way to really stop that is to have no free trades, which is impossible now since all trades are free, which means I can steal pretty easily. You can't block your trades. Next thing is locking your Mortys. Not just normal lock, it has to be pit locked or trade locked. And the only way I can mess with trade locks is if I'm friends with you. So the only reason you'd unfriend your list is in case you think one of them's me, but being friends only helps. It's not a requirement. Then the other lock is pit lock, and there's no really way to undo it except sometimes the pit ID will just randomly delete. So you have to be very, very on top of that. And you can only have 5 Mortys pit locked. So pick your 5 favorite Mortys, pick lock them, and I won't be able to steal those, but I can steal everything else. The next 2 are a little easier, but I need 2 things to be able to steal a Morty. It's a Morty ID and your player ID, the ID of who owns the Morty. If I don't have one, I can't steal it. Which means If I know your Morty ID, if you move it to an account I don't know, and you never use the Morty, I can't steal it. Another thing, I am watching the entire game. I have access to everyone who logs in, everything. So if you use a Morty, I've seen it. I have its Morty ID. So next step, don't use any Mortys you don't want stolen. So, and that's about it. Don't show Mortys. Move the Mortys you have shown to accounts I don't know of, and don't show them there. And you can pit lock and trade lock if you're confident none of your friends are me. And that's about it. That's all the main ways to stop scamming or to stealing. But besides all that, there's nothing to note really. It's just a useless back and forth. Having the kind of people who'd fail an IQ test attack you is a really interesting experience. But now, about what I plan to do. I plan to live stream the end of Pocket Mortys, showing up bugs, exploits, and just having fun with you guys before the game dies. I have a couple of scripts set up that will be farming things that I'll be using to give people whatever the fuck they want. You want some free Mortys? You want some perfects? You want a shiny ad? Well, don't worry, I'm getting all of it. So, hate me or whatnot, but if you want to have fun, then join PMO. It's in the description. And that's about it. This will probably be my last video, since the rest will probably just be live streams, if I do it properly. But this is the end of me, the end of Pocket Mortys, and I'd like to say, I won.